Today, I'm thrilled to welcome an incredible guest who truly embodies leadership, integrity, and community spirit, Lisa Purdy. Lisa is an accomplished entrepreneur and the powerhouse behind LP Realty Network and Consulting, Inc. Her journey in real estate began back in 2009 with a focus on appraisals, which gave her a deep understanding of property value and client trust. Just 2 years later, she made the bold move into real estate sales, and she's been building success stories ever since. In 2016, she founded LP Realty, and by 2019, she expanded into LP Realty Network, which has become known for its excellence, transparency, and exceptional client care. What really sets Lisa apart is her dedication, not just to her clients, but to her team and the community. She lives in Grimsby, Ontario, where she's deeply involved in local events and initiatives that go back to the community. Her attention to detail, her commitment to communication, and her passion for helping people make confident real estate decisions have earned her a stellar reputation in the industry. Lisa is someone who leads with both heart and vision, a true example of how business, success, and personal integrity go hand in hand. Lisa, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast, so a lot of emotions, but I'm super happy to be here, so thank you.
So you started your appraisal business in 2009, and then moved you into real estate sales in 2011. So how did that all come about?
So I was pregnant with my firstborn, and my mother owned an appraisal company called AB Appraisals originally, and she needed help and I needed income, so I was her administrator for the office. So I couldn't afford, at that time in my life, I couldn't afford more than 2 months off for mat leave. So I had my daughter in my arms while answering calls and booking appraisals. So it was interesting, but you have to do what you have to do as a mother. And then I started to realize I really loved real estate. And I started to go for my real estate courses. And then after all that was done, my mother offered me an interview. And from there, everything changed.
Wow, answering phones with a baby in your arms.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yes.
So what made you found LP Realty Network?
So once I gained my real estate, reputation, you'd say, we created the Henson team, me and my ex-husband. And I ended up being management for Keller Williams and helped a lot of agents in the Niagara region. And I had a very large team. And then I went through my divorce and I ended up shrinking my team, I guess you'd say. And then once everything was done with my divorce, I ended up opening up LP Realty and transferring everything over to there.
Wow. So has there been anyone who has influenced you in your life that kind of made you the woman that you are today?
Absolutely. My mother is a huge one. She's always been my inspiration. She's the hardest working woman I know. And she has accomplished so many things in her life. And I think she's always given me the push and the drive to keep going no matter what. She's had to rebuild her life as well. So she helped me through that process. And she kind of gave me the grit and the determination for success. And then my father. So he gave me the heart. He was not a businessman, but he gave me the heart. So I was his princess, always his little princess, still am. And he's been my biggest cheerleader through my bad and my good days. And so between my mom's grit and determination and my dad's heart, that's built who I am today.
Sounds like a lot of great examples that you had growing up.
Yes.
And it's great to have family support.
Absolutely.
So you keep adding more facets to your business. What is it that drives you?
So I've been known to never be satisfied.
Okay.
So if I build something, I love building things from the bottom up. It's the success in the end, and it's helping people along the way, whether it be employment or families. And so I think the end result is what I'm addicted to. But even though I've built LP Realty and I've incorporated my appraisal company now into LP Realty, I'm not done. So I'm just, I'll never be satisfied. So I always want to build and build and build.
That sounds exciting. I can't wait to find out what's happening next.
Yes.
I think you have a secret coming.
I do. I do. And it's,
I know we need to keep it under wraps
under wraps for now.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so
But stay tuned.
That might be another podcast.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Yes.
So I know that you are a mother of three. You mentioned your daughter when you first started, but I believe you have a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 12-year-old.
Yes.
And since you started back then, that means that you have been building your business and businesses since a while now, and raising a family. How has it been to juggle all this responsibility? Did you ever find it a struggle to do all this?
Absolutely. When I was with my husband, he was an appraiser with me. He still is. He's an amazing man. Just didn't work out. And but when we were working together, we were working 18-hour days. So I was working more of the hours at that time while he was starting to do his courses. Mm-hmm. But he would basically feed me at my desk. I would wake up at 4 a.m., work all day, and I'd be working at night. He would help with the kids. Basically, it was a struggle being a mother and being the mother that I wanted to be, and still having to struggle and juggle with everything else. Now, it's a little bit better, but it's the hockey. I have to be at the hockey rink and the football field. And now I'm in an absolutely amazing relationship, so I have to give time to my partner. So it's definitely, there's a lot of ups and downs, but it's all worth it in the end.
Yeah. Well, it definitely sounds like it.
Yes.
So it seems like you've been able to figure this out or master it somewhat. So for another mother, father, raising children and wanting to start their own business, what kind of advice would you give them?
Honestly, you have to put the dedication and the time into it, because I had no life. A lot of my friends were out still partying when I was building what I have built now, but I was at the ground. So I didn't have late nights. I didn't have what I really should have had at that age. So you have to give other stuff up in order to get what you want in life. And I was up at 4 a.m. every day and weekends sometimes. And then sometimes it was 11 o'clock nights or waiting for an offer until midnight. And there was a lot of struggle with it. But honestly, the advice I would give is just keep going, and you have to give things up in order to get what you want in the end.
True. There's only 24 hours in a day for everyone. So there's no way that you can just do everything. There is definitely some sacrifice that needs to be made.
Absolutely.
I know also that you went through a relationship breakup, and I know that impacted you both personally, and there were also some challenges in your business because of that rough patch that you were going through. So what was it that helped you get out of that rut?
Well, that time in my life was probably the toughest time I've ever had. And I left an amazing marriage. I fell out of love. Again, my ex-husband is amazing, and he still works for my company. But I fell out of love, and shortly after I got into a relationship that was very unhealthy. And I was already sucked in, so it was very hard to get out. It affected my companies because I wasn't mentally okay at that time. There was a lot of narcissism in the relationship, and it took a big toll on me. I watched my companies plummet, and I was in a lot of counseling trying to get out of it, and it was very, very tough. Now that I'm out of it, I'm rebuilding everything, and I honestly feel, and my mom said it too, I wouldn't have found Rob if it wasn't for the situation I was in. I wouldn't have been at a bar that night if I was in a relationship, and I wouldn't have met Rob. And everything lined up the way it was supposed to line up. And, I don't think that I would have respected Rob the way that I do if I didn't go through the bad stuff in my life. So it was very difficult on my companies, my mental state, my physical state, unfortunately, and my children. But it made me who I am today.
That's amazing. Well, it's true. They say that how do we see when something is light if we don't know dark?
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
So you've recently rebuilt yourself. You're come back stronger than before. So what are some of the strategies or some of the things that you've done to help rebuild yourself?
Honestly, and I don't want to keep talking about Rob, but he was a huge part. He was the calm to my storm. So when he met me, I was all over the place. I was in lots of counseling, trying to undo the damage from that unhealthy relationship. And he grounded me. So there were times that we were laying in bed and my mind was going insane and I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And he brings me to peace. And alongside my dad, he's been my cheerleader. And he's always told me there's nothing that I can't do. And if anybody can do it, I can. And so he was a big part of it. And also, I'm a very resilient person. So I've had to rebuild a couple times now. And it always seems to be stronger in the end. Now I'm done rebuilding now. That man I'm with for the rest of my life. So I won't have to do that again, but it's definitely possible.
That sounds good. I mean, there's so much value in having a good partner. There's just not enough said about having a good partner in your life to help you succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, that reminds me of a client that I used to coach. She's in Tennessee, and she had to give up her business because there was someone in her family that fell ill, and so she had to give up her business. And one of the strategies that we had put in place was not to overwhelm her calendar. We made sure that there was like buffer gaps so that if things did come up with her family or her children, that she could always then use those buffer time slots to get the activities done. You know, the saying is if you erase, you must replace.
Absolutely. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you employ any strategies like that?
Yes. If you look at my calendar, it gives you a lot of anxiety. Everything is color coded, and it starts from 4 a.m. on, and it goes into the evening. So I have always been like that. It's been over 20 years since I've been waking up at 4. And of course, with some ups and downs, if I'm up late with an offer, then I might sleep until 4:30 or 5. But everything is scheduled in my life. So, and I remember when I was a kid, and my mother, like I said, was the hardest working woman I know, and she still is. I would go downstairs and ask her for help with homework, and I would almost have to book myself in. And we had have a photo of them just working late nights and early mornings, but that's reality. And that's the way I am too. I'm trying not to do it as strictly, but it is tough when your children want you. And I look at my calendar and I'm like, I can't, unless it's something important that I can always move things around. But yeah, everything is in my calendar. If it's not my calendar, it doesn't exist and it doesn't happen.
That's a really good strategy.
Yes. Yeah.
So what do you think it is about Lisa, that any specific qualities that helps you succeed? Now, I know you had mentioned that you were resilient. What else can you tell me about Lisa?
I'm very motivated. So if I want something, I will get it. It sounds bad, but it's in business wise, it has always been my drive. So yeah, I would honestly say my drive, my mind is always going a mile a minute of, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And I find my busy schedule, if I'm busy, that's my love language. So if I'm not busy, I feel like I lose my motivation and my drive. And then I'm like, what else can I do with my life? And then I open up another company. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
So staying busy, that's it.
Yes, absolutely. I need to be busy.
It kind of builds on itself, the momentum.
Yes, it does.
Well, I know that you also give back to the community and you do a couple of charity events. Tell me about those.
So we do 2 large events. We do little mini events throughout the year, but our one coming up is our winter clothing drive. So we start collecting November 15th. It'll be winter jackets, hats, mitts, blankets, anything for the homeless. And then December 21st, we deliver it directly to them. So we'll drive around St. Catharines into the bad areas. There's a library in Niagara Falls that usually there's people around that area that need some help. And we bring all the bins out and they choose what they want. So this is going to be our 3rd year doing that. And we're on our 10th year for our Easter egg hunt, our charity Easter egg hunt this year. So kind of crazy to think it's been a decade since we've been doing this, but it supports the Grimsby Benevolent Fund. So you have to bring a canned food item per person when you come. And a lot of people are so generous. They'll bring a bag of food or money. But we have Calvin the Magician there, and we've got a bunch of different activities, face painting and all that stuff. So those are our two big events. Yeah.
Sounds amazing. So if somebody wanted to contribute, would they just like connect with you?
Yes, and it'll be on our website, lprealtyservices.com. We spam it everywhere, all over our Facebook, Instagram, and then we have the bag signs all over town and stuff like that. So it is in Grimsby at the new Central School. It's the old Grimsby Secondary School. And so, yeah, my number is that they can also text me, call me, 905-746-7465, and then get any information they want.
Well, you are definitely a well-rounded individual. What is something that maybe people would be surprised to learn about you?
Okay, probably my laugh. So not a lot of people get to hear my laugh. I try to keep it outside of my business. It does slip out sometimes if I get into a laughing attack with somebody, but that's one thing I'm very memorable for. I remember we were in the grocery store and my sister had no idea I was there. And she was on the other side of Superstore. And if anybody knows Grimsby, the Grimsby Superstore is big. And I laughed and she heard me and she texted me and was like, I know you are here. And so it was one of those things that I was always embarrassed about. It's not a bad laugh, but it's very loud and contagious. So I think that's, a lot of people don't know that about me, but if they're my friends and family, they definitely know about it.
I think I've heard the laugh.
You might have.
I'm pretty sure I've heard the laugh.
You might have. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes.
So here's another different question. If success had a flavor, what would it taste like?
Honestly, I think salted caramel. And it's not because it's my favorite flavor. It really is my favorite flavor. But if you think of the salt that's on the outside of the caramel, like it's got to be gritty before you get to the sweet spot. So I would say, that pretty much sums it up.
That is so true. Grit before sweet.
Yes.
Putting in the work. That's what you even said about building your business. You had to put in the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's amazing. This was an inspiring conversation with Lisa Purdy. Her journey from appraisals to becoming one of the region's trusted and respected real estate agents is such a powerful reminder of what's possible when passion meets purpose. Lisa's story is one of resilience, growth, and heart. It also speaks to balancing entrepreneurship and motherhood. She's shown us that true leadership isn't just about business success. It's about perseverance, integrity, and making a difference in your community. Lisa has created a culture of care that truly sets her apart. Now, if you'd like to learn more about Lisa or connect with her team, visit lprealtyservices.com or follow her at LP Realty Network on social media. Lisa, thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom with us today. You've shared your heart with us. And remember, success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about who you become on the way there. If today's episode inspired you, share it with someone who is facing a challenge and ready to break the cycle of the past and move into standing up and standing strong. To keep learning from others that are moving onward and forward, make sure to follow and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.